Get in the building, baby. Oh, yeah. Iron Bowl champs. Get it out of here. We gonna rock the trophy today, baby.
Okay.
How y'all feel, baby? I'm feeling like Ric Flair, man. Abraham Belt, what it do?
Man, what's good? What's good?
Oh, yeah, we live, baby. Appreciate the love, baby. Week 14. It's about to go down, man. We want to welcome to the stage the silent partner, Alabama football insider, Mr. Abraham Belt, bringing you inside college football information on the ground. He's in the state of Alabama. The only place you can get it, man, right here. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Show love, man. It costs nothing, baby. Let's go in. You ready to rock, brother?
Let's go.
Oh man, the morning after Iron Bowl. Oh man, how you feel, man?
Oh man, it's the Iron Bowl. We came up on on the short end, so not feeling too good, but optimistic about the upcoming season.
Yeah.
I gotta give props to Alabama. So I'm not a sore loser.
I
Not
like
gonna
it.
go
I like it.
free or nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey man, Auburn Nation, are y'all okay, man?
We making it.
I know y'all thought y'all had it this year, man, but hey man, but let's get into it, man. We ain't gonna tarry. We gonna dive right into it. So Iron Bowl 2024. Alabama Crimson Tide host the Auburn Tigers yesterday at Bryant-Denny Stadium, Saban Field, taking out the Auburn Tigers 28-14. Hey man, Big Brother kind of flexed. You know what I'm saying? But even still, Auburn has some chances to make it a game at least. From my vantage point, couple turnovers by Miro. Bama did spread the ball around, use the tight ends more than we've seen. Kind of tapped into that fluid Alabama offense we used to. But again, Auburn did have a couple chances. I like what Auburn looks like. I feel good about Peyton Thorne. I don't know his eligibility status going forward, but he got a good vibe to him. He got a good look to him. But talk about what you saw, man. How is Auburn Nation feeling this morning, the morning after?
Well, we're not feeling too good because it was just more of the same what's been happening all season. We're in games, but we don't know how to close games. And we started off slow. We didn't take advantage of the turnovers. Um, we didn't even set the edge on defense. We was in the red zone 3 or 4 times, no points. You can't do that. You can't do that against a team like Alabama, any ranked opponent on the road. You have to take advantage of those opportunities every time, and we didn't do that. Like I said last week, we needed to run the ball. Jarquez Hunter only had 56 yards on what I believe 13 carries.
Mm.
That's ridiculous, and he was averaging 4.3 yards a carry. On the goal line, we surrendered to a field goal instead of handing the ball off to probably our best player on the field. it's things like that. It was just more of the same. A complete offensive meltdown, play calling wise by Hugh Freeze.
Wow.
It, it was ridiculous. It, I don't think he has a grasp of what he wants to do, of the identity of the offense. One interview, he may say, "Hey, we have to give the ball to the best player on the field, which is Jarquez Hunter." But he goes out there and he doesn't hand the ball off or call plays for Jarquez to make them. I said we needed over 90 yards to win this game. He had
Mm,
56. We had 98 as a team. It was just more of the same.
yeah.
But hats off to Alabama.
I hadn't watched. Let me cut you off. I hadn't watched Auburn, pretty much at all this year. Um, is this, the story of their season? I know you keep saying more of the same.
Yes,
Elaborate on that.
yes, more of the same. It's like we don't have an identity on offense. We run an RPO system,
Mm,
but it's like in the red zone we have 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" receivers, and they may run fade routes, but why not a skinny post, drag across, and just throw it up and let them catch it?
right.
Why are we throwing the ball every first down? Hand the ball off to the guy because we were running the ball. We averaged 4.3 yards per carry. That's good in any league, in
Exactly.
any. Uh, and it's just there. There's no rhythm on our offense, and the offensive play calling is horrendous. Uh, I don't know if that's just a lack of trust that Hugh Freeze has with Thorne, or execution, or it's just Hugh Freeze is not the play caller we thought that he would be.
Mm,
Um, I have no idea, but those guys they played their hearts out. Uh, they executed the plays that were called to the best of their ability. Um, it could have been, you know, it was definitely missed opportunities. But like I said, I can't take away anything from Alabama because they they played harder. You know, Milrow. It was the Milrow show.
mm,
He did what I thought he wouldn't have a chance to do in our defense.
mm.
He ran for over 100 yards. He passed for over two. Matter of fact, I think the two or three of his top games are against Auburn.
Mm.
So yeah, that was crazy to see that. Uh, we didn't set the edge not once, and it was even though Alabama didn't run it a lot, but when they did run it, it was effective. The
Yeah,
Milrow right, Milrow left,
yeah,
and he was downfield. Uh, for the most part, it was the running and the like you said, the use of the tight ends. How we didn't they didn't game plan for it, and every time the tight end caught the ball, it was likely a first down, downfield, wide open. Uh, you know, it was the game was won in the third quarter. Alabama's
mhm,
first two drives, touchdown, game over.
mhm.
It's that simple. Uh, it definitely could have been closer, but
Felt like it was gonna be one of them classic Iron Bowl games, you know?
it had to feel at first. But
Yeah,
when you don't, when the Auburn was last in the league in the turnover margin, Alabama's first. When you're winning that and you don't convert those turnovers into points, you're gonna
yeah,
lose.
yeah,
You're gonna
yeah,
lose.
indeed.
Alabama just out physical Auburn. That's just what it was. Um, a lot of guys, older players are online, saying this is not the same Auburn. They don't have the heart. The culture is different. They don't have the fight in them like they used to. So, it's kind of hard to see what is this our fourth or fifth losing season. second or third, not making a bowl game. But uh, we have to do what we have to do. Is 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 portal QB shopping time. Is
Hey,
what we about to do. They
yeah,
about to go spend that money on,
yeah.
and get them a quarterback that can
Mhm.
propel this offense into the 21st century. So
Yeah. Hey man, if you look around the league and you see what South Carolina doing at quarterback, even what Bama's done at quarterback, it may be time to make that switch, man. But we're live with the silent partner, Mr. Abraham Bell. Again, Alabama takes out Auburn in the Iron Bowl 28-14. Five straight Iron Bowl victories for the Alabama Crimson Tide. I know you said the way forward for Auburn, hit the portal hard. Are they gonna stick with Hugh Freeze?
yeah, I mean, he was not going anywhere. Right now, we still have a top five class, and really the only thing that we're missing is a quarterback
Yeah,
uh, that can run his offense.
yeah,
So we keep this class intact, and we go and spend the money to get a quarterback. That would be our missing piece. A lineman here or there,
yeah.
but that's what we need. If we had decent quarterback play at the beginning of the season, we're talking about potential playoff spot. You know, in Iron Bowl for each team. So, but yeah, they're going to spend that money and search for a quarterback that can get it done next season.
There it is, man. Moving on down the line, another big rivalry game. Michigan, Ohio State, man. Ohio State ranked number 2 in the country. Michigan, man, one of their worst seasons. Michigan struggling, coming off of losing Jim Harbaugh, winning the national championship, losing their quarterback. A lot of transfers left. Ohio State spends the reports are $20 million to put this team together. That's the reports, but some people say it's higher. That's just a number they throwing out there. Uh, to go play a Michigan team and only score 10 points, man. Michigan didn't even really score an offensive touchdown. They had a pick. He almost took it to the house. They ran it in. The guy kicks a 50 some yard field goal, and then he kicks another field goal. So Michigan beats Ohio State 13-10. Did you get a chance to see this game, man? Uh, is Ohio State the usual fraud that we always see? What do you see going forward for Michigan and Sharon Moore? Does Ohio State keep Ryan Day head coach? Go ahead.
Uh, I believe uh, I believe Ohio State is still a decent team. It's just Michigan. They played with intention to win.
Yeah,
They wanted it more. It was just point blank. Period. We're gonna go out here and we're gonna dominate, and they have done so for the last 3 or 4 years. So, of course, they're gonna keep Ryan Day because why? You lose in Michigan, but you're still in the playoffs.
he's 1-4 against Michigan, and Michigan is pretty much Auburn, Alabama. That game.
Yes, yes, but a loss to Michigan, and you still have a potential to win the national championship.
True.
So it hurts to lose to your rival. But what's losing to a rival and winning the national championship?
There it is.
They'll be foolish to get rid of Ryan Day for that. But at the end of the day, I didn't think that Michigan had a chance of beating this Ohio State team in Columbus, but they went in
Mhm.
there and they did,
Yeah.
uh, and they pretty much dominated. Uh,
Wow.
dom- well, it was pretty much even, but they ran the ball. They ran the ball for like 173 yards on 41 carries. Both teams had two turnovers. It's pretty much even, but it was some costly interceptions uh, that kind of swayed this game for the Michigan Wolverines.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, like you said, nobody saw that coming, man. Uh, Nobody saw it coming. Ohio State falls to Michigan, big rivalry game, 13-10. Do you see Michigan? I know Sharon Moore, Michigan's coach, uh, wouldn't be judged off of this season, coming off a championship. But definitely next season. How do you see the future with Sharon Moore in Michigan?
I mean, he's still a head coach. He's going to have to win. You just can't go 4-8 or 5-7. Just beat your rival. Michigan is still a proud program, so they're gonna want to see results. They're gonna they just spent 10 million on a quarterback, so it's hey we're looking to win now. So that just doesn't fall on the players. That's gonna fall on that coach too.
Hey, shout out to the chat, man. Make sure y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It's free. It costs nothing. Alan Water says the Vols will take it. You think the Vols gonna win it all, man? Don't hesitate to interject, silent partner, if you see something in the chat, man. I ain't necessarily looking right at it.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, they getting crazy in there, but I believe anybody that's in this playoff has a chance to win it. Uh,
yeah,
Now, are the Vols looking as dominant as they have been in the earlier part of the season? No, because their defense is kind of you know uh, slacking off, but the quarterback is playing a lot better.
yeah, yeah,
Um, can they beat anybody in the playoffs? Every team? Yes, they can.
yeah. That guy, he may be the future of the SEC, man. Right now.
Yeah, I like him. He's very talented. He's smooth. He's accurate.
Mhm.
He's mobile. Uh, but I'm just curious as to Tennessee's defense.
Yeah,
You know that's gonna make or break them.
definitely, definitely, man. But again, Michigan, 13-10 over number 2 Ohio State. Moving on, man. The game last night, prime time. Texas Longhorns going to Kyle Field, taking out the Texas A&M Aggies 17-7. Uh, Man, looked like Texas was just gonna run over them, but the game kind of just, it got in the trenches, slowed down. I don't know if the score is really indicative of what Texas did. You know what I'm saying? I really didn't watch too much of it, man. But talk about Texas taking out rival Texas A&M, man.
Yeah, for the first time in 13 years, that was a good game.
Mm,
To be honest, Texas looked like a tried and true seasoned SEC team last night.
mm. That's
They were
big.
on, they were on the road. They were more physical. As a matter of fact, I believe their running back rushed for almost 200 yards.
Whoa.
Like I think he's like a buck 86 on the ground. Uh, Quinn Ewers had a big game, but it's still a rivalry game. Texas they were just a better team last night. They dominated that game from start to finish.
And I know Texas was kind of, doing a dual quarterback thing. And I
Mm.
saw Arch run one in.
Oh yeah,
Uh, Yeah, man. So again, Texas taking out Texas A&M on the road, big win. Getting ready for the big SEC championship showdown against Georgia. Uh, we'll predict that game a little bit later on. Uh, yeah, man. Moving on, but again, uh, Georgia Tech. A couple nights ago, 8 overtime. Man, I watched maybe 3 or 4 of them. But something hit me like, this game really don't even mean much because Georgia still controls their destiny. They go to the SEC and win, whatever. But Georgia taking on rival Georgia Tech, winning in 8 overtimes, 44-42. Did you get a chance to see any of that one, man?
yes, that was a game. I watched that game in
That
its
was
entirety.
wild, wasn't it?
Yeah, but shout out to Georgia Tech because they dominated regulation.
Mm,
They were actually the better team.
mm,
I mean that wholeheartedly. Georgia Tech was the better team.
yeah.
Haynes King, their quarterback, he ran the ball, he threw the ball. He looked like Peyton Manning back there.
Hmm,
Uh,
wow.
as a matter of fact, uh, Haynes King was 26 or 36 with 303 yards in the air,
Yeah.
303 in the air, and this is a running team. He also had 24 carries for 110 yards, three touchdowns.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, they out physical Georgia at at Georgia. That's kind of unheard of. Uh, they just couldn't make the plays when they counted towards the end to win the game in regulation. But shouts out to Georgia too. Uh, they found a way to come back, like almost like a tale of two halves, because we all know Georgia is a great second half team. They're gonna make those adjustments. They got some smart coaches. They got some players. Uh, it may not be a stacked, explosive Georgia team that we're used to, but the coaches know how to make the best out of what they have. Uh, yeah, 8 overtimes. I was loving every minute of it. I didn't know who was gonna win.
Yeah, that game was live, man. Again, Georgia started out slow as they've been doing, but they fight back. I like that about this Georgia team. I'm an Alabama fan, but I respect this Georgia team. They find a way to turn it on late. But yeah, that game was wild, man.
Yeah, and those with teams that can do that are championship teams.
Mm,
Uh, you know,
mm.
they
There it
don't
is. We live with the silent partner. Where you gonna get Jews like this, man?
they they
Go
they
ahead, bro.
they don't let the game overwhelm them. They settle down, they get focused, and they go and handle business. So shout out to Georgia, shout out to Kirby, uh, for staying focused and getting the job done. It's one of the I think that may have been the longest SEC game to date.
Mm, wow.
So maybe I think that's what they said last night.
That's that pedigree, man. That championship pedigree. Georgia taking out rival Georgia Tech 44-42. Oh man, it's beautiful, man. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're live with Mr. Abraham Belt, the silent partner. How y'all feel? All right, man. Top 25 rundown. So number one, Oregon takes out Washington 49-21. Uh Number four, Penn State taking out Maryland 44-7. Five, Notre Dame taking out USC. That was a shootout, 49-35. Syracuse taking out Miami. Oh no.
That one hurt.
Pretenders? Did you get a chance to look at that one real quick?
No, I didn't get a chance to look at that one, but yeah, that right there, that hurt Miami's chances.
Does Miami get in?
I think they're gonna be right outside. I don't know. I believe Alabama will get in before Miami because
Yeah.
Miami doesn't have a signature win. As a matter of fact, I think Miami's signature win may be Florida.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Because
You're right on. But yeah, Syracuse taking out Miami 42-38. Oh no. Tennessee, number 8, Tennessee. Vanderbilt jumped out on them, man. 14 nothing. But Tennessee steadied the ship. Went ahead and won 36-23. Number 9, SMU took out Cal 38-6. Indiana put up 66 to 0 against Purdue. South Carolina Clemson. That was another big one, big heavyweight fight. South Carolina, man, they scared right now. Nobody wants to play them. Beat Clemson 17-14. Number 16, Arizona State, 49-7 over Arizona. Iowa State, 29-21 over Kansas State. Number 19, BYU, 30-18, ending Colorado's hopes. With the loss, Colorado would have got in, but BYU handled business. Number 21, Missouri took out Arkansas 28-21. Number 2, UNLV took out Nevada 38-14 and rounded off. Number 23, Illinois took out Northwestern 38-28. Honorable mention, the Memphis Tigers, man, took out number 17 Tulane 34-24. And again, let's see here. Ole Miss takes out Mississippi State 26-14. And number 25, Colorado blanks Oklahoma State 52-0. Real quick, man, just talk about Colorado, man. Season they've had. Where do they go from here? You know, prime, stay or go.
Well, we gotta give props to Colorado for what 9-3, 10-3
Yeah,
season. They dropped a couple games that they probably should have won to Kansas State and Kansas. But what I will say is the future is very bright in Boulder. They had a few commitments. One, as a matter of fact, one offensive lineman from a four-star offensive lineman from Mobile, Alabama. Uh, he committed. They have the five-star quarterback Julian Lewis committed. I think another four-star wide receiver. So they're reloading. Prime is going to stay, I believe, unless he's offered a NFL head coaching job. But that's kind of hearsay right now. Um, but I believe he stays because he's comfortable. It's a good situation, and I believe at this time, you want to be where you're comfortable. You
yeah,
know, uh, everything is looking good for Colorado. Uh, they need to spend that money and keep
yeah,
them there. That's what they need to do.
yeah.
Spend some of that good Colorado money, that good Boulder money.
'Cause he sure made him a lot of it.
Oh yeah, so yeah, spend that money, keep them out there, keep them happy, and just watch the program take off because like uh, they're definitely gonna miss Travis Hunter
Yeah,
and Shador and Shiloh, but they got some players coming in, and this is I believe next season will be the season people will truly judge Dion's coaching ability
yeah,
because he was introduced to the mainstream, the world, at Jackson State with Shador and Travis Hunter, and they dominated at every level, every game.
mhm,
So, what do you do when you don't have those two? Can you
yeah,
can you replicate the same success? So that's gonna be like the key factor in his coaching legacy is next season. What do you do?
mhm. What do you do? Travis win the Heisman?
Uh, I, I want Travis to win the Heisman, but I had to look back at Boise State's running back, and I'm like, okay, let me see what he did against Oregon. And I think he ran for like over 200 yards against Oregon, and Oregon has a legit defense. So it's hard to say that because Travis is doing it, you know, on each level as a wide receiver and a cornerback,
Mhm.
but he's not leading wide receivers and he's not leading cornerbacks. He's just, he's an impact player on both sides of the ball.
'Cause I know they snubbed him for the Thorpe Award. Dion was crying about it.
Yeah. Uh, but Genty, he is the top running back by leaps and bounds. He's
Yeah,
he's separated himself from the pack. And he's the main reason Boise State is even in contention for anything. So I want Travis Hunter to win, but I don't think you can you can really justify him winning with the season that Aston Genty is having at one position. At his position, he's dominating his position.
yeah. And like you say, it ain't close.
Nah, it's not. And he did it against he put up numbers against the number one team in the nation.
Mhm. Yeah.
you know,
I think what hurts Colorado if they would have went a little deeper, you know, then Travis would have had a better chance. But I know Boise, they sitting in that thing waiting, man, to playoffs. So yeah, I think they may give it to Ashton, man, but we'll see, man. But shout out to Colorado. Big things to come. Look forward to it. Moving on, man. SEC championship. So we got the Georgia Bulldogs going back, taking on first year member, the Texas Longhorns. Uh, who do you got, man? What do you see from Georgia coming in? What do you see from Texas coming in?
I think they're both playing their best football right now. Uh, of Georgia with the eight overtimes to win it against their rival Georgia Tech, and the way that Texas played at Texas A&M, the way they dominated on the ground. Uh, I I'm not sure. I would probably lean. I would I would lean Georgia in a close one, but I wouldn't be surprised if Texas win
Mm,
because Texas really look good. They really look physical. I mean, when I say they look the like a 2000 2015 Alabama team out there.
mm,
They were fast, physical, and explosive,
mm.
and and I believe A&M has one of the best offensive and defensive lines in college football, and they were getting
Yeah,
pushed around.
yeah,
So I don't know. It depends on how Carson Beck plays.
yeah.
Quinn Ewers is usually consistent. Beck has been up and down. Uh, I'm going to do some film review this week and kind of see, um, go back over that Texas Georgia game and see what worked. But it's going to be a chess match because you have two coordinators that are very familiar with each other. You know, uh, and that's going to be who can out scheme the other one. Athletes on both sides of the ball, but who can out scheme the other coordinator? Sarkeesian or Smart?
Yeah.
I would lean Smart, but if Sarkeesian gets ahead, I believe it's going to be harder for Georgia to fight back
And
because
I was gonna say Georgia can't afford to start slow this time. You know what I'm saying?
no, not the way Texas is playing. Texas is out for blood. They can smell it. It's right there
Mhm.
because Texas, Arizona State, uh, and Oregon and SMU are first time members playing for championship spots. I mean, playing for championship games in different conferences. SMU this is their first year in the ACC. Oregon is first year in the Big Ten. Arizona State first year in the Big 12. Texas first year in the SEC.
Yeah.
All these teams are playing to prove a point, especially Texas. So it's going to be interesting. But I still lean Georgia because it's really almost home field advantage. But the way those Texas Longhorns looked last night, like they're a 20-year founding member
Mm,
of the SEC
mm,
because I mean they put it on A&M.
yeah. I don't know, man. I like Texas, like you're saying. I really do. I love the pedigree of Georgia. We don't know who this Texas team is on this big stage. We'll find out pretty quick. But Georgia got that championship DNA pedigree. Two Saban disciples. It's gonna be beautiful, man. It's gonna be a true heavyweight fight next week. SEC championship, man. Georgia Bulldogs, Texas Longhorns. I'm slightly leaning Texas, man. But we will see, man. We'll see. Want to talk playoff, college football playoff, 12-team playoff. Alabama just bumped up to number 11 in the AP coaches poll. Uh, the way it's looking, Bama may sneak in. You know, I am Bama biased, so I want to get your opinion. Um, do you see Bama kind of backdooring their way in that thing, man? Um, you know, if any three lost team would get in, it would be Alabama. You know what I'm saying? Uh, talk about just the playoff hopefuls. Who's looking out? Who's gonna sneak in, man?
Yeah, I believe there is a chance. Maybe if Clemson loses, Clemson will have three losses, but they have three good losses. I believe Miami's out either way. I don't believe Miami will sneak in because they lost to two unranked teams. Was Syracuse ranked? I don't believe Syracuse was ranked. I'm not sure if they were ranked or not. And I know Georgia Tech wasn't ranked. Uh,
Nah, they wouldn't. Syracuse wasn't.
so and they don't really have a good win. So their resume will probably keep them out. Uh, you have Tennessee as a hopeful. South Carolina is a hopeful. Uh,
Indiana's in, right?
yeah, Indiana's in because they lost to a top five team, but they also beat the team that beat a top five team. So yeah, Indiana's in, Oregon is in. I believe Ohio State will still be in. Uh,
If I had my way, I would sit Ohio State out, man. But whatever.
Penn State will still probably be in because they only lost what one game. Didn't they lose to Minnesota?
They lost to Ohio State.
Ohio State, okay,
They 11-1.
11-1. So I believe if they lose this Big Ten championship, they'll still be in. So I'm not sure if Alabama they may get in, um, but they have some of the worst losses. Vanderbilt.
Yeah, they do.
Uh, who else did they lose? Who else did Alabama
Vanderbilt,
lose?
Tennessee, Oklahoma.
Yeah, so they have some of the worst losses. They only have a win against Georgia. LSU was ranked when they played, but uh, and I believe Missouri may have been ranked too. But they have some of the worst losses. So I'm not sure if they would get in. But we all know that there's a lot of Bama bias in the playoff committee uh, and SEC bias as well. But there are some teams that deserve to get in. Um, I believe Clemson deserves to get in because they have two good losses. They lost to Georgia and they lost to South Carolina. Those are two good teams. Who else?
So Clemson was number 12, yesterday before losing to South Carolina. Do you think Clemson still would get a consideration?
Yes, because I mean they led most of that game. And that was a
Do you
close game.
see Clemson going jumping over Alabama to get in if it came down to it?
Yes, because Clemson only has two losses to two ranked teams. Why would you
Yeah.
put a team that has two losses to unranked teams, two or three losses to unranked teams with losing records over a team that
Right.
had two
What about
losses?
the conference week schedule argument?
Well, I mean, you have to play the schedule that you have.
Right.
But it's going to come down to Oklahoma. Look, Oklahoma, they just got blowed out by LSU. So
Yeah.
Oklahoma's what 6-6 probably.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt is what 6-6 or 7-6 or something like that. Uh, Tennessee is a good loss, but that Oklahoma, that Vanderbilt loss, those aren't good losses for Alabama
Right.
because they aren't ranked. Uh, whereas Georgia is ranked and Clemson is ranked, possibly both playoff teams.
Yeah.
So But
Hey man, we'll see. I'm trying to find a way for my Tide, man. Oh,
we'll see. I don't see how Alabama gets in over Texas A&M.
huh? Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
hold on. Texas A&M has how many losses? Four.
Uh, I don't know it. Pull it up.
A&M may be out, or is that their third loss?
8-4, so they out of it.
Yeah, they out.
They had to win yesterday. Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. A couple more games to be played. But yeah, we just sit and wait, man. We sit and wait. I got a good feeling, but we'll sit and wait. We'll see. But yeah, man, we live with the silent partner, Mr. Abraham Belt. Week 14 recap. Make sure y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Everything college football, music, sports reactions right here, man. Make this your home. Go ahead and hit the like button, baby. Hit the subscribe button. Mr. Abraham Belt, man, go ahead. Final thoughts. Let them know your social media, how they can find you, brother.
Yes, Abraham Belt at on Facebook, and I am Silent Partner on Instagram.
Man, he got a hell of a clothing brand as well, man. Give him the website.
TojaLaw.com. Uh, yeah, good faith based clothing, t-shirts, polo shirts, button ups. Go check me
There it
out.
is. There it is. I need to get my spring 25 collection, man. Time is moving so fast, man. It'll be warm again before you know it.
That's right.
Yeah, man. But hey, man, appreciate the love. We ain't gonna be too long, man. Y'all stay tuned. Week 15 SEC Championship recap next week. Oh man, we out of here, baby.